Press conferences are supposed to be all microphones and mind games, but this one exploded.
It reminds me of like one of those budget YouTube hood movies where someone just talks about their whole life and what they've come from and talking as if they're from one of the ghettos in Iraq or Africa or somewhere like that. But you know, he's got a sob story, he's running by it, and that's what makes him feel better. So we respect it. I just kind of listened and said my piece.
And you said to him, what have you done? Tell us what you've done.
Because he just said, like, you line up all the heavyweights. He was just talking about, oh, he's this, he's that, he's that. I said, but why are you worrying about what someone else has done? What have you done as a fighter to kind of boost your ego up? But he couldn't answer it because he ain't fought no one like us.
Jake Paul walked in with that signature grin, poking, teasing, pushing every boundary like he always does. Until Anthony Joshua finally snapped. AJ stood up like a man who'd had enough of YouTube chaos and disrespect. And in a split second, he was nose to nose with Jake, reminding him, this isn't a prank channel.
If I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna break his face, I'm gonna break his body up, I'm gonna stomp all over him. That's my mentality, right? That's a fighter's mentality. And I know what's in my heart, I know what's in my mind, and I'm here to compete. I'm here to prove myself that I'm the better fighter. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'll do that until I finish fighting, no matter who it is.
This is heavyweight business. The room turned electric. Security rushed in, voices rose, cameras shook. It felt like round zero had already begun. And right there, in that moment, one thing became crystal clear. Jake Paul thought he was building hype, but AJ turned it into a real fight, the kind where egos bruise long before faces do.
Netflix have spent a lot of money, MVP have spent a lot of money, and Jake would look like a plonker if he pulled out the fight now after giving it the big one. And he knows that, and this fight's happening, you know, and that they think, look, one thing I'll say is this: if there was ever a good time to fight Anthony Joshua, it's probably now, right? Coming out of what will be 14 months of inactivity. By the way, he's also been in training camp for 4 weeks or 5 weeks, the time comes around. He's having to make weight. Maybe the confidence isn't where it has been in his career.
And from that chaos, we slide straight into Teddy Atlas mode, boxing's truth-telling uncle at the family table. And when Teddy starts saying, don't be shocked if Jake Paul actually has a chance, you almost drop your drink. He breaks it down like he's solving a crime. Jake is younger. Jake is faster. Jake is sharper with those sneaky contracted tails.
Still the choice. Before we look at all the reasons why Joshua should smash him, he's a pro fighter, 2-time Olympian, 2-time heavyweight champ, you know, bigger, stronger, highest level of fighting at this class. I mean, he should destroy him. He destroyed Ngannou. And a lot of people will use that comparison. But styles make fights. And Jake Paul's not going to fight him all the way. And
AJ, he hasn't fought in a long time. He's cutting weight. And no one knows which version of him shows up. Teddy basically hands us a checklist the internet forgot. Even just surviving 8 rounds might be a Jake Paul victory in Jake Paul world. He even brings up the Netflix lawyers like they're guarding the galaxy, reminding us that nobody wants a live disaster special. And suddenly, this fight doesn't look like a joke. It looks like a science experiment with real consequences.
It's just, he's younger, feet a little faster. I know he's not at that level of a fighter, I get it, but his feet are faster. Joshua's feet are not that fast, closing gaps, getting to somebody. To hit him, even if you're better than him, you still got to get to him to hit him. Also, Joshua, last time he fought was over a year. He hasn't fought.
Then we slide from Teddy's warning bells straight to Dave Allen, who sounds like the guy at the bar who's seen too much to take anything at face value. He's side-eyeing Jake's resume like it's a suspicious menu. YouTuber? Check. Basketball player? Check. Retired MMA fighters from the Stone Age? Check.
And before you just say, yeah, it's got to be Joshua, don't discount how smart Mr. Paul has been so far. I wouldn't count him out in the way he just laid it out.
Tommy Fury, nice lad. But area title level? Check. Allen gives Jake his respect but keeps it raw. AJ is a top heavyweight of the last decade. Jake used to fight influencers. He says the quiet part out loud. This isn't funny. This is dangerous. Heavyweight sleep mode dangerous. If AJ lands clean, Jake might start seeing to moons.
I really think he could. He trains hard. I respect all of that. I respect him for what he's doing. Brilliant. He's having a go. Amazing. But he's now fighting arguably a top 3, top heavyweight of the last 10, 15 years. One, it's dangerous. We're talking like it's a real fight. The whole thing that we're doing right now is based on it's a real fight. They're both going to try and fight. He's not a heavyweight. He's a cruiserweight. If that. Turned pro at 13-2. And he wasn't a kid. He was 23 years of age. He wasn't a kid. He's not grown into heavyweight. He boxed all those 5 months ago. Might cut a bit of weight. Might come down from 15 stone, but it's dangerous, really. It's dangerous. Very dangerous, because if Anthony Joshua hits him on the chin...
Dave hopes Jake gets knocked down, gets back up, the fight ends safely, and everyone gets paid. But he also asks the scary question. What happens if AJ hurts him for real? That's when the whole sport feels the weight of this matchup. And sliding out of Dave Allen's honesty, we crash into Steve Gifford, a guy who's actually been inside Jake Paul's camp, eating those jabs firsthand. Steve says Jake's biggest weapon is his belief. The man genuinely thinks he can beat Anthony Joshua. And sometimes, that mindset alone creates chaos. He says Jake has been waiting to show his real levels. Stuck fighting ex-NBA players and semi-retired MMA legends because of business politics. Now he finally gets to test everything against a man who punches like a runaway refrigerator. It's like skipping driving school and entering the F1 main.
Same way I would go to the circus to watch, to be entertained by something a bit mad. But Anthony Joshua, for taking the fight, I'm not sure. It's hard. There's a lot of money to turn down, to be fair. But if Anthony Joshua goes in there with Jake Paul, plays nicely, wins on points, takes longer than 2 or 3 rounds, reputation with the casual public done. I'll watch it. If he's holding him up and playing nicely, I'll understand. I'll watch it.
Race, impressive, but terrifying. Then, the classic UK debate hits. Is AJ chinny? Steve reacts instantly. Heavyweight punches aren't love taps. They're meteor strikes. Ruiz, Dubois, Klitschko, those guys can drop anyone. And when they ask if Jake can hurt AJ, Steve says something real. Speed is power. Danger doesn't always show up wearing a heavyweight badge. Sometimes it arrives with fast feet and timing. But he also makes it clear.
Everything in boxing, from Olympic gold medal to now a 2-time undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. So I think as far as him taking this fight, if anybody deserves to go and have a fun fight like that, Jake, he is kind of showing that he'll fight. He got stopped by Daniel Dubois and Ruiz. I mean, listen, this is a contact sport, like if you get hit, the human body's not made to be getting punched in the face. If you get hit, especially by these guys, Andy Ruiz, who's a good puncher, Dubois, we know imagine he's gonna come, he's gonna be on his P's and Q's. He knows there'll be a lot of eyes on him for this fight, so he's gonna be looking to make a statement, because I think they have clients of him.
But if Jake survives long enough to make us raise a single eyebrow, we could witness one of the most polarizing moments boxing has ever seen. Now it's your turn. Drop your prediction in the comments. Who wins? How does it end? And is there any world where Jake Paul shocks the world? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. This ride is just getting started.